You log into Netflix, you get personalized recommendations. You open Facebook, you get the people you may know. You open Amazon, you see keep shopping for with items similar to what you were just searching, or inspired by your browsing history with new recommendations. Our world is so often centered and tailored to us. And I don't know about you, but I've attended training where that felt the furthest from the truth. But I've also attended training where I left feeling like that was exactly what I needed. So how do we create more of that scenario, that feeling, where our learners feel like they got exactly what they needed from us? How do we create that? We have to center our learners' needs. And this is a focus of mine when I'm consulting with nonprofits. So I want to share with you 3 questions that you can ask, 3 questions that I have used to center the learner's needs with my clients. Let's dive in. It's Learning for Good. Okay, we want to create learning solutions that are effective. We want the learning solutions to be aligned to our organization's priorities. We want the learning solutions to be relevant to our learners. We want them to increase comprehension and, more importantly, behavior change. And we want them to be measurable so we know they're working, and actionable. So to do this, we have to understand our learner's needs. We have to know our learner. Just like Netflix, just like Amazon knows you, we have to know our learners. We have to understand their needs. So I will say, before we start these 3 questions that I'm going to share with you to help you center your learners' needs and your nonprofit, the first thing you need to do is understand and identify what the change is. What is the change that needs to happen? That's probably a separate podcast episode, a separate series where we can talk about how to uncover and identify that specific change that you're looking for. But let's put that to the side for now. Let's assume you know the change that needs to happen. You know what you're looking for. Then, based on that change, we can use these 3 questions to center the learner's needs related to that change. Okay? So the first question is, what would motivate them to make this change? We know that knowledge doesn't equal behavior change. So often we start with, well, what do they need to know in order to do this change, in order to make this change? What do they need to know? But knowledge doesn't equal behavior change. We have to really understand our learners deeply if we want to see behavior change. So what would motivate them to make that change? Is it something intrinsic within them? Is it something extrinsic that you can provide as an organization? Is it a combination of the 2? Sometimes people want to make a change because they want to be their very best. They're passionate about the work. They're very into self-development. And so they want to make that change because they know it's going to be better. It may be that they're really committed to your mission. And so if you are, inspiring them with how this behavior change that they're going to make is going to impact the mission, it's going to impact the people that they're serving, sometimes that is what motivates them to make the change. Sometimes it is extrinsic, right? Sometimes it is something else that is motivating us. Maybe it's some sort of competition within the organization and we're looking at how staff are doing different things or improving. Maybe it is some other sort of reward system where they're getting, certificates or prizes or whatever it is. We have to know what motivates them if we want to see that change happen. And often it is a combination of both that intrinsic motivation and that extrinsic motivation that makes it happen. This is true of us in so many areas of our lives. If we want to make a change towards healthier eating, right, we might have some intrinsic motivation where we want to be healthier, we want to feel better, whatever the case is, but there might also be some extrinsic motivation that we're incorporating into that to help us be successful. So this is a normal part of motivation, and we need to be thinking about that and understanding what our learners want if we are going to be successful and see that behavior change. The first question that I ask to better understand the learners, to be able to center their needs, is what would motivate them to make this change? Now, the second question that I would ask is, what do they need to know and do to make this change happen, right? So again, focus more on the do than the know. We tend to start with the no and end with the no, but we know that knowledge doesn't equal behavior change. So what is it they need to do? What's the change? What is the difference in behavior? What will it look like when they are implementing this change successfully? And if we can identify that, we can identify the skills and behaviors that they need in order to implement the change. We can then create the learning solution that allows them to practice those skills and behaviors. We can set them up with on-the-job resources and reinforcement that helps them make that behavior change. So what do they need to know? What do they need to be able to do to make that change? That's question number 2. The third question is, what would prevent them from making this change? What are those barriers? What support do they need? What resources can we provide? Because sometimes, even when we have the best of intentions of making a change, we aren't successful. There are other barriers, other things at play that prevent us from making that change. If I want to eat healthier and I have the intrinsic motivation to do so, but I have a cabinet full of unhealthy food choices, I'm going to grab the unhealthy food choice, right? Because that's what's in my environment. So what are those barriers? What can we do? What support can we provide? What resources can we provide to help them be successful? And we have to understand what those barriers are, what would prevent them from making the change if we want to set them up for success. Now, these 3 questions can help you create behavior change, the behavior change that you're looking for. And it creates it in a way that's relevant and it resonates with your audience so that the learning solution feels tailored to them. So I encourage you to try these 3 questions with your next project and see how it goes. See what you learn about your learners, and if it's different than what you might have learned asking different questions. And if you want support with the learning design process from start to finish, as always, my team is here for you. We'd love to help you get the exact solutions you need to achieve your organization's staff development goals. All right, friends, was this helpful for you? Leave a review so I know what content resonates with you. Do you know someone else in the field who would benefit from this episode? Maybe they're looking to better understand their learners' needs. Please share it with someone you know in our field. Do you want more content like this in the future? Hit subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time on Learning for Good.